we see a triangle right angled at B. If we need to find the trigonometric ratios of angle A, first of all, we know that if we need to find the trigonometric ratios for angle A, this is the opposite side, this is the adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse. Now, sine of A will be opposite upon hypotenuse, cosine of A will be adjacent upon hypotenuse, and tangent of A will be opposite upon adjacent. Then, so on, we can find cotangent of A, which is reciprocal of this, secant of A, which is reciprocal of this, and cosecant of A, which is reciprocal of sine A. But there is a little problem with this. This only works for angles less than 90 degrees. Think about this. Here, A is an acute angle. If we keep on increasing this angle, the adjacent keeps becoming shorter. The opposite keeps on increasing. It reaches a point where this angle A is closer to 90 degrees and eventually becomes a straight line. It is no more a triangle. So, in order to find trigonometric ratios of angles greater than 90 degrees, we cannot use a right-angled triangle. For example, let us say we need to find sine of 120 degrees. We cannot do it in a right-angled triangle. It does not have an angle of 120 degrees, right? Therefore, this challenge pushes us to rethink trigonometry in a bigger framework. This is where a new thought comes in. How about instead of triangles, we use a coordinate plane? For example, let us say we have a point P in the first quadrant, whose coordinates are x, y. Now, if we draw this angle XOP such that XOP is theta, where theta is an acute angle. Let us say OP is R. Now, if we drop a perpendicular PN on the x-axis, then what will be sine theta? Sine theta, as we know, is its opposite upon hypotenuse. So that is going to be Pn upon OP. Now, Pn here is y units, since the coordinates of P are x, y, and On is x units. Now, think about this. Pn is y, which is actually the y coordinate of point P. So we can say that sine theta is y coordinate of P upon R. OP is R, right? Which is y upon R. Then cosine theta will be On upon OP. On is x, which is the x coordinate of point P upon OP, which is R. This becomes x upon R. Similarly, tan theta is going to be Pn upon On. That is y coordinate of P upon x coordinate of P, which is y upon x. Now, since point P lies in the first quadrant, both x and y are positive. So, OP, which is R, is going to be square root of x square plus y square. This is the distance of this point P from the origin. Now, if we extend this angle such that XOP is an obtuse angle, we can determine the trigonometric ratios of theta in the same way. Point P has coordinates x, y. This is the perpendicular PN, and OP is R. So here, since XOP, which is theta, is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. So this P lies in the second quadrant. Therefore, its x coordinate is negative, where its y coordinate is positive. Now, sine of theta, as we know, is now y coordinate of P upon R, which is y upon R. Y is positive, R is positive, so sine theta is positive in the second quadrant. Cosine theta is x coordinate of P upon R, that is x upon R. X is negative, so cosine theta, and R is positive, right? So cosine theta in the second quadrant is negative. Then tan theta, which is y coordinate of P upon x coordinate of P, that is y by x. Y is positive, but x is negative, so tan theta is also negative in the second quadrant. Then we have cotangent theta, which is equal to x coordinate of P upon y coordinate of P, that is x upon y. Now, x is negative and y is positive. So, this is also negative in the second quadrant. Then we have secant theta, which is reciprocal of cosine theta. That is r upon x coordinate of P. That's r by x, and this is also negative. Lastly, we have cosecant theta, which is r upon y coordinate of P. that is r by y, and this is also positive in the second quadrant. So we realize that in the second quadrant, only sine theta and cosecant theta are positive. All other trigonometric ratios are negative. So far, we have seen trigonometric ratios when theta is less than 180 degrees. But we have a special case when theta is exactly 180 degrees. When theta is 180 degree, this is the angle XOP. I have highlighted it in different color for better visibility. This distance OP is R, right? So when theta is 180 degree, point P lands exactly on the negative x-axis. So there is no height. That means the y-coordinate is going to be 0. And the x-coordinate is negative r because point P is now on the negative x-axis. So the coordinates are minus r, comma 0. Sine theta, as we know, is y-coordinate of P upon r. So sine 180 degree will also be y-coordinate of P upon r, right? Y-coordinate here is 0. That's 0 by r, which is equal to 0. Sine 180 degrees is 0. Cos 180 degrees x-coordinate of P upon r. X-coordinate is minus r. Minus r upon r is minus 1. Tan 180 degree is y-coordinate of P upon x-coordinate of P. 0 upon minus r, which is 0. Next we have cot 180 degrees, which is minus r upon 0. Anything divided by 0 is not defined. Cot 180 degree is not defined. Then we have secant 180 degree, which is r upon x coordinate of P. That's r upon minus r, which is minus 1. Lastly, cosecant 180 degree is r upon y coordinate of P, that is r upon 0. Once again, it is not defined. Now, if we recall, we studied relation between trigonometric ratios of theta and its complementary angle 90 minus theta, right? Similarly, we are going to now see the relationship between trigonometric ratios of acute angle theta and its supplementary angle. So on this coordinate plane, we have a point P whose coordinates are xy, and angle XOP, where OP is of length r. Angle XOP is 180 minus theta. Now, if we drop a perpendicular PN on the negative x-axis, we have this right angle triangle OPN. Here, this angle O is theta because this is a straight line, right? Then this Pn is y units, On is x units. Now, sine of 180 minus theta will be y coordinate of P upon r. That is y upon r. That is Pn upon OP. But if you look at this right angled triangle, PON, here sine theta is this Pn upon OP, y upon r, that is Pn upon OP. So from both of these equations, we see that sine of 180 minus theta is equal to sine theta. Next, if we look at cosine of 180 minus theta, which is x coordinate of P upon r. Here, if you look, x coordinate of P is on the negative side of the x-axis. So this is going to be minus On upon OP. And in the right angle triangle PON, cos theta is x upon r, that is On upon OP. From both of these equations, we can say that cos of 180 minus theta is equal to negative of cos theta. Then let us look at tan of 180 minus theta, which is equal to sine of 180 minus theta upon cos of 180 minus theta. That now sine of 180 minus theta is sine theta. Cosine of 180 minus theta is negative cosine theta. So this is equal to negative tan theta. Tan of 180 minus theta is equal to negative tan theta. Next, we have cotangent of 180 minus theta. This is going to be minus cos theta upon sine theta. Once again, minus cot theta. So cot of 180 minus theta is equal to minus cot theta. Next, if we look at secant of 180 minus theta, which is reciprocal of cosine of 180 minus theta. Cosine of 180 minus theta is equal to minus cos theta. So this is equal to minus secant theta. Lastly, we have cosecant of 180 minus theta, which is reciprocal of sine of 180 minus theta. Now, this is equal to cosec theta. So we notice that for all of these angles, only sine and cosecant stay positive when moving from acute angle to its supplementary angle. Now let us look at one more relationship. between trigonometric ratio of an acute angle theta and obtuse angle 90 plus theta. If theta is an acute angle, then 90 plus theta is going to be an obtuse angle, right? Let us now look at the trigonometric ratios for 90 plus theta. First of all, we have sine of 90 plus theta. We can write it like this, sine of 180 minus 90 minus theta. Since theta is an acute angle, 90 minus theta is also acute. So this is sine of 180 minus some angle which is an acute angle. And therefore, this is equal to sine of that angle. Now, sine of 90 minus theta is equal to cosine theta. So what do we see? Sine of 90 plus theta is equal to cosine theta. Next, we have cosine of 90 plus theta. And we can write it like this. Now, cosine of 180 minus some angle, which is an acute angle, is equal to negative cosine of that angle. And we know that cosine of 90 minus theta is equal to sine theta. Along with this negative sign, it becomes negative sine theta. So, cosine of 90 plus theta is equal to negative sine theta. Next, we go on and find tangent of 90 plus theta. And so on, we can find the relationship of other trigonometric ratios as well. Now, if you notice the results at the right side, you'll see that for 90 plus theta, trigonometric function changes. Sine becomes cosine. Cosine becomes sine. Tangent becomes cotangent. Secant becomes cosecant and vice versa. And the sign, whether it is going to be positive or negative, it follows the rule of the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, only sine and cosecant are positive. Rest all others are negative and therefore the negative signs. Let us summarize it for once, what all we have seen so far. We have seen that when theta is between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, sine theta and cosec theta are positive, that is in the second quadrant, while all other trigonometric ratios are negative. Then we saw the values for trigonometric ratios when angle is 180 degrees. Then we saw the relationship between acute angle and its supplementary angle. And lastly, we saw the relationship between an acute angle and 90 plus that acute angle. Let us now move on to one question. We are going to find the trigonometric ratios for 120 degrees, 150 degrees and 135 degrees. Interestingly, here we are going to use all the formulas that we have seen so far. First of all, let us see how can we find sine of 120 degrees. Now think about it. You can write 120 degree as 180 minus 60. You can also write it as 90 plus 30. Let us write it as 180 minus 60 for now. Now we know the formulas for sine of 180 minus theta. Sine is positive, right? When sine of 180 minus theta is positive sine theta. So this is going to be positive sine 60, which is equal to root 3 by 2. Next we have cosine 120, which is equal to cosine 180 minus 60. Cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. You can pause the video and do it on your own and then recheck. Now this is cos 60 is 1 by 2. So this is minus 1 by 2. Then we have tan 120. Tan 180 minus theta is minus tan theta. Tan 60 degree is root 3. So this is minus root 3. Then we have cot 120, which is reciprocal of tan. This is going to be minus 1 by root 3. Secant 120 will be reciprocal of cosine 120, that is minus 2. And cosecant 120 will be reciprocal of sine 120, so 2 by root 3. Let us now find the trigonometric ratios for angle 135 degrees. Sine 135 degree, we can write as 90 plus 45 degrees. Now, sine 90 plus theta. When we see 90 over here, we know that the trigonometric function changes. So this will be cosine. And in the second quadrant, sine is positive. So positive cosine 45 degrees. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. Cosine 135, cosine 90 plus 45. Cos 90 plus theta is, first of all, the trigonometric function will change. It will be sine. Cos is negative in the second quadrant. So negative sine 45. Negative 1 by root 2. Then comes tangent. tan 90 plus theta is negative cot theta. Cot 45 is 1. So this is negative 1. Similarly, we can then find the other trigonometric ratios. They are reciprocal of these three, right? Now let us head to the last one, sine 150 degrees. We can write as sine 180 minus 30. This is going to be sine 30, which is 1 by 2. Cos 150, it's going to be negative cos 30, which is negative root 3 by 2. Tan 150 is going to be negative tan 30. That's negative 1 by root 3. And then the reciprocals. Cosecant 150 is reciprocal of sine 150. That is, it's going to be